Welcome to the Preflight Checklist. Today's checklist is about adjusting your aircraft's asking price. One of the hardest moments in any aircraft sale comes a few weeks after the listing goes live. The excitement of bringing the airplane to market has settled down, buyers have seen it, and maybe there have been a few phone calls or a showing, but nothing is moving forward. That's usually when the question comes up. Should the price come down? It's a reasonable question, but it's often the wrong place to start. A price reduction should not be driven by emotion or impatience. It should be driven by evidence. It starts with understanding how a new listing enters the market. Every new listing receives a surge of visibility. Buyers who have been waiting for that model notice it quickly, and those first few weeks are often when the most qualified prospects decide whether the aircraft deserves a closer look. That is why the opening price and presentation matter so much. If the aircraft is well positioned, early buyers engage. If it misses the market, the strongest period of buyer attention may pass before the seller realizes the aircraft is not being received the way they expected. Once those first few weeks pass, the market begins to provide feedback. Every inquiry, every showing, every serious conversation, and every comparable aircraft that goes under contract tells you something. Individually, those signals may not mean much, but together they form a pattern. If similar aircraft are selling, and yours is not generating meaningful activity, the market may be saying something worth hearing. That naturally leads to the harder question: how long should you wait? Every listing deserves some patience. A good aircraft does not need an immediate price reduction simply because it is not sold overnight. But patience and stubbornness are not the same thing. As days on market accumulate, buyers begin asking why the airplane is still available. Sometimes there's a good explanation. Sometimes there's not. Either way, that perception starts to shape the negotiation before an offer is ever made. If the evidence points toward a pricing adjustment, the next step should be deliberate. One of the easiest mistakes to avoid is reducing the price a little every few weeks. That can make the seller appear uncertain, or worse, like they're chasing the market down. A thoughtful adjustment based on real market feedback usually sends a stronger signal than a series of smaller reductions over time. Pricing should communicate confidence even when it changes. Ultimately, all this comes back to what pricing is trying to accomplish. The goal is not simply to achieve the highest possible sale number. Pricing balances value, time on market, and confidence that the transaction will actually close. Those three goals do not always move together. Good pricing recognizes those trade-offs and manages them directly. From our perspective, one of the biggest misconceptions in aircraft sales is that changing the asking price means the original strategy failed. In reality, price adjustments are often part of a disciplined selling process. Markets evolve. Comparable aircraft sell. Buyer behavior changes. The objective is not to defend yesterday's price forever. It's to understand what today's market is saying and respond when the evidence supports it. Owners who begin with confidence but remain willing to adjust when the market speaks clearly are usually the ones who reach a successful closing with the least amount of friction. This has been the Preflight Checklist.